Hey Magic fans, it's Paul from the Let's Talk Magic podcast, formerly the Orlando Magic UK, here with your game day preview. Tonight we are talking about the Magic being in Mexico to take on the Atlanta Hawks, part of the NBA Global Games for this season. The Magic have opened their season with 7 consecutive games against Western Conference opponents, and tonight we begin a stretch where we take on 7 consecutive Eastern Conference opponents. The venue for this fixture is the Arena CDMX in Mexico City, and the UK tip time is a very unfriendly 2:30 a.m, which is 9:30 p.m. for our friends in Orlando. To watch the game here in the UK, unfortunately, yet again, it's going to be that you will need an active NBA League Pass subscription. This game, even though it's part of the Global Games, is not being carried by national TV in the UK. The Orlando Magic have a season record of 4-3, having lost our last game. Our home record is a 2-1 record. We're going to talk about home side of things because this is a scheduled home game. The Orlando Magic are standing tied 5th in the Eastern Conference, tied 5th and 6th with tonight's opponents, the Atlanta Hawks. Points per game, the Magic have only scored 108.6 per game, which is 25th in the NBA, but we are still conceding at a low level, 103.4 per game, which is still third. Although that dropped back one because we were second going into the defeat against the Dallas Mavericks. Offensively, 25th, defensive rating of third in the NBA still. We continue to rank second in the league for steals per game, and scoring is led again by Franz Wagner with 18.7 points per game, closely followed now by Paolo Banchero with 18.1 points. Cole Anthony is the third leading scorer on the team, coming from the bench for 15.9 points per game. Paolo Banchero is also our leader in assists with 5.6 per game. That's increasing. And Jalen Suggs now leads the team for steals at 1.7 per game. So the last game, alluded to it, we took a home court defeat, 117-102 to the Dallas Mavericks. It was a genuine game of two halves for the Magic, holding a 13-point lead going into the second half. That second half was rough. Orlando went cold on offence, particularly from range. We scored just 36 points across the half, having 66 in the first half. They fouled repeatedly in that second half, far too many fouls, and we turned the ball over repeatedly. Defensively, it was a revisiting of the failings of the third quarter that we saw against the LA Clippers. Overall, Paolo Banchero produced a team-leading 22 points, adding 6 assists. The Magic got good scoring from Cole Anthony and Mo Wagner, who are our top 2 performing reserves. Each scored 19 points in this game. The Magic had 27 assists and took 18 free throws, pleasantly making 14 of them. The starting unit was again Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero and Goga Bitadze. That lineup had, as we all know, been enforced through injury. The 4 from the bench were Cole Anthony, Mo Wagner, Joe Ingles and Caleb Houston. Tonight, our injury report is reading very similar to the previous game. Markelle Fultz is day-to-day but questionable. That left knee soreness and swelling. Jonathan Isaac is listed as day-to-day but probable with a hamstring issue. He was absent in our last game, late scratch. Gary Harris is still out with his groin injury, and Wendell Carter Jr. is out, having had a fracture to the left hand middle finger, surgically repaired. Wendell will be re-evaluated in 3 weeks, as we've said before. That's the last week of November, but the injury could keep him out up until the new year. We're just going to have to be patient on this one. If Markelle returns tonight, you've got to expect him to slide into the starting unit. If not, expect the starting unit to be the same. Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero and Goga Bitadze. As before, selecting Goga at the centre position allows Coach Mosley to keep his second unit relatively intact with Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac alongside Cole Anthony and Joe Ingles and perhaps one other. To talk about the Atlanta Hawks, let's start by looking back first of all. Last season saw the Hawks go at 500. They had a 41-41 record, finishing 8th in the East. They dispatched the Miami Heat in the 7-8 playing game, but then lost 4-2 in the first round proper of the playoffs to the Boston Celtics. The Hawks under Quinn Snyder, who had been hired mid-season last time, are pretty much running it back outside of moving on from John Collins. Key additions made: veteran Paddy Mills, Wesley Matthews, and from the draft came rookie guard Kobe Buffkin. Their season so far is quite similar to Orlando's, 4-3 record. They're on. They lost their last game. They're tied, as we say, with us. It's where their strength lies that is different to our own. They are ranking second in points per game, scoring 122 per game, but they are conceding 116.7. That's 23rd in the NBA. Offensively, they rank second. Defensively, 20th. Some mixed results for the Hawks. They lost their opening 2 games of the season before going on a 4-game straight run, including beating the Bucks in Milwaukee. As we say, offensively, this is a team that score freely. They take the league's second most free throws and make the most per game. If they miss a shot, then the Hawks grab almost 14 offensive rebounds a game. That's 3rd in the league. Finally, the ball movement sees this team get results, and they are 5th for assists. Defensively, their highlight statistic is a team that commit the least personal fouls so far this season. They also have very active hands, and that results in a lot of interceptions and steals. So last time out, Atlanta tasted defeat on the road to the Thunder in Oklahoma by 117-126. Going into the final quarter, the Hawks were trailing by 19 before cutting that deficit all the way down to 5 with 2 minutes remaining. But that was as close as they got. 9-player rotation saw 5 players score in double digits. Dejounte Murray led the team with 29. Trae Young chipped in with a double-double of 22 points and 11 assists. Jalen Johnson also dropped 13 points and 12 rebounds for another double-double. The bench, Bogdan Bogdanovic, 17 points, followed by Sadiq Bey with 15. Starting unit was Trae Young, Dejounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson and Clint Capella. For tonight, their injury report has Kobe Buffkin and Wesley Matthews as out. Mohamed Gay is questionable with a back injury. The only change in their starting unit of any of the games this season has been where it's been rotated between Jalen Johnson and Sadiq Bey. They've split the rotation. So expect Trae Young, Dejounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter and Clint Capella to be joined by one or the other of those two. The head-to-head, it's 131 regular season games played, of which it's standing at 62-69 to Atlanta. But over the last 2 seasons, the Hawks have taken the series 3-1 on each occasion. And in fact, the Magic have only won twice of the last 11 played. The last time that Orlando won a series, taking it 4-0, was in 2018-19 season. So, final thought for tonight. This is against a team that is playing some superb attacking basketball. Defensively, they've been having some difficulties. Of their 9 regular player rotation, 8 are scoring 11 points or more per game. Orlando will have to find some way of slowing Trae Young and Dejounte Murray. That partnership is combining each game for an average of 44 points and 17 assists almost. They are a team that can score quickly. So defence will be the key again for Orlando. We can't afford another game like the Clippers or like Dallas where we don't maintain focus throughout the whole game. We can't have another half where we just play for the first half and don't play during that second half. Any slip in intensity will present this high-scoring, free-scoring Hawks team with an opportunity to put the game beyond Orlando. We can't afford that. So if you've enjoyed this preview, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. But most importantly, let's go Magic and get that W.